Thanksgiving was supposed to be a night of family, gratitude, and warmth, a night of laughter, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, and stories passed around the table. But that year, it became something else entirely. My wife, Emily, had been distant for weeks, subtle digs, cold stares, and a growing sense that nothing I did was ever enough. I tried to brush it off, convincing myself it was just stress, the holidays, work, the endless prep for dinner. But as soon as we sat down to eat, it became clear this wasn't about stress. She leaned back in her chair, smirk playing at her lips, and whispered loud enough for only her mother to hear, "Nothing to be thankful for in bed, if you ask me." The words landed like a punch to my chest. Silence froze me for a moment. The laughter of my family and the clinking of silverware seemed distant, muffled, like I was hearing them underwater. My face felt hot. My blood boiled. I looked at her, expecting perhaps a nervous laugh, just kidding, anything. But she didn't flinch. She smirked. She glanced at her mother, expecting solidarity, and found it. They both laughed softly. The humiliation was immediate. Years of marriage, effort, intimacy, all reduced to a cruel joke whispered across the table. I felt the urge to explode, to lash out, to scream in front of everyone. But instead, I did something she didn't expect. I set down my drink, slowly, deliberately. I let the sound of the glass hitting the table resonate, a small, sharp clink. Then I smirked, a slow, measured smirk that said more than words ever could. It wasn't a smile of joy. It wasn't a laugh. It was the calm, controlled kind of smirk that marks the beginning of consequences. Her smirk faltered. Her laughter caught in her throat. I could see the recognition in her eyes. This wasn't going to be a night where she got away with humiliation. I didn't speak immediately. I let the tension sit like a heavy blanket over the table. The family noticed. The room shifted. The air changed. She could feel it. I could feel it. Then I said quietly, almost casual, "You know, Emily, words have weight. Actions have consequences. Maybe it's time to think about both." She froze completely. The smirk disappeared. The laughter vanished. The sense of control she had wielded so freely evaporated in an instant. After dinner, I left the table without another word. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I walked away, leaving her to reflect on the cruelty she had displayed, the words she had chosen, and the power she had assumed she held over me. The following days were tense. She tried to charm, to manipulate, to explain it all away. "I was joking," she said. "I didn't mean it like that." But the truth had been revealed. I wasn't the same man who would take humiliation silently. I had shown that disrespect has limits, that mocking intimacy isn't harmless, that there are lines that cannot be crossed without consequence. Weeks later, the dynamics in our home began to shift. She became cautious. Her casual digs disappeared. The teasing, the whispered mockery, all of it stopped. She realized that power isn't wielded by cruel words. It's held by the person who refuses to be broken by them. I never sought revenge. I didn't need to. My calm, measured response, the smirk at the right moment, was enough. It demonstrated that I had control over myself, over my emotions, and over the boundaries in our marriage. Looking back now, I realized that the Thanksgiving incident wasn't just about humiliation. It was a turning point. It taught me the importance of self-respect, of setting boundaries, of refusing to be demeaned for someone else's amusement. Emily's mockery that night revealed more about her than it did about me, and my reaction revealed more about me than even I had known. Sometimes the quietest response is the most powerful. A smirk, a glance, a measured pause can speak volumes. You don't need to scream to make someone understand that words, especially cruel ones, carry weight. And as for that Thanksgiving, I still remember setting down my drink, letting the clink echo, and smirking. Because in that moment, I reclaimed something far more important than pride. I reclaimed myself.